A long time ago, by the River Thames, a small village began to grow. The people living there had no idea they were starting something big, a city that would become famous and change the world. This is the story of that little village and how it all began by the water. This little town started in the quiet, misty days of the ancient world. Over time, it grew into one of the most famous cities ever, London. The story of London begins way back, when the world was calm and untouched by people. Before the busy streets, tall buildings, and modern life, it was just nature all around. London started by the River Thames, a spot full of life and resources. Nobody knows exactly how this old town began. It's a mystery. But here's what we do know. London's story really kicked off when the Romans showed up. Back then, it was called Londinium. In 43 AD, Roman soldiers, led by Emperor Claudius, came across the sea and landed in Britannia, starting something big. There was a big group of engineers working hard to build a huge bridge over the Thames River. This bridge, called London Bridge, would bring in a time of wealth and success. When the Romans were in charge, Londinium became a busy place full of trade and culture. The streets were packed with people buying and selling stuff from all over the place, and the town squares were full of people talking about politics and big ideas. Even though Roman life seemed fancy and rich, there was a lot of bad stuff happening behind the scenes. Over the years, Londinium saw history change again and again. London has been through a lot, from big battles to tough times, but its people always stayed strong. From the fires of Boudicca's rebellion to the fall of the Romans, London never gave up. Now, let's take a trip back in time to a place where the past still whispers around every corner. Right in the middle of London, where history feels close, we can uncover the story of an ancient city. This is where it all began. Welcome to the story of London. A really long time ago, back in 43 AD, the Romans came to Britain. Their army, led by a super tough general named Claudius, marched into the land hoping to win battles and become famous. They even brought builders and planners along to help them set up their new home in this far-off place. The Romans had strong soldiers and were really good at building things. They were ready for big challenges in Britain. They came with their army and big ideas about making things more organized, which totally changed the island forever. The Roman troops marched further into Britain and found an important spot by the River Thames. They decided to build a new town called Londinium, right between the marshes and the forest. It was close to the river and had natural defenses, which made it a great spot for trading and business. Starting Londinium marked a big new chapter for Britannia. The Romans started building roads, forts, and public buildings, totally changing the little town. In the middle of Londinium was the Forum, a super busy market where traders from all over came to sell stuff and chat. Londinium grew really fast, and people from all over the empire moved there to live. The streets were super busy, full of people shopping and working. Sellers shouted about what they were selling, and craftsmen made cool stuff. There were temples and public baths all around, showing how much the Romans loved relaxing and enjoying life. The London Bridge, built over the River Thames, was one of the most awesome things in Roman London. The stone and wood bridge helped connect the city to the rest of Britannia and faraway places. Building it showed that Londinium was becoming an important place for trade and business in the Roman world. The city was full of different people and exciting customs. Soldiers, traders, slaves, and craftsmen moved to the city from all over the empire. The streets were always busy with people doing their daily chores and jobs. For the rich people in Roman London, life was all about fancy parties and big political talks. Big, fancy houses dotted the countryside, where rich people lived in comfort and luxury. But even with all that wealth, danger was never far away in Roman times. In 60 AD, a woman named Boudicca, leader of the Iceni tribe, fought back against the Romans. She joined other tribes to rebel and attacked Londinium. Her forces burned the city to the ground and killed many people. Even though Londinium was destroyed, the city didn't stay down for long. It was rebuilt and kept going strong, proving it could survive even the hardest times. After a tough time, the city bounced back stronger than before. Even after the Romans left Britannia, the spirit of Roman Londinium stuck around. You can still see bits of it today, showing how creative and ambitious the Romans were. You can see how Roman culture still affects us today in things like buildings and words we use. When we look at the ruins of Roman London, It's cool to think about the hard work and big dreams of the people who built this amazing city. The story of Londinium reminds us that their struggles and victories aren't so different from ours today. London's history was shaped a lot by a famous guy from ancient Rome named Julius Caesar. He was born into a rich family a really long time ago, in 100 BC. Caesar was super good at leading armies and making smart choices in politics. He ended up becoming one of the most important people in Rome. Caesar's connection to London started with his battles in ancient France way back in the 1st century BC. During these fights, he started thinking about Britain as his next big win, something that would make him even more famous in Rome. In 55 BC, Caesar gave it a shot and led his army across the English Channel with soldiers and horses to try and take over Britain. Even though the campaign didn't last long and didn't work well, it set the stage for Rome's next trips to the island. Caesar's second visit to Britain in 54 BC didn't go much better. He ran into problems like not enough supplies and strong resistance from the local tribes. These issues stopped him from taking control of the island. Still, Caesar's trips opened the door for future Roman victories in Britain, like when they eventually built Londinium, now London. Caesar didn't exactly build Londinium himself, but his big plans for expanding Rome got things started. His trips to Britannia showed Rome was interested in the island, making it easier for other Roman leaders to take over later. Emperor Claudius, the 4th leader of the Julio-Claudian dynasty, is the one who actually helped build London. Claudius was born way back in 10 BC, and he became emperor in 41 AD after his nephew, Emperor Caligula, was killed. People back then thought Claudius was a total fool, but he actually turned out to be a smart and skilled leader. He helped grow and strengthen the Roman Empire. His connection to Londinium comes from his decision to lead a big invasion of Britain in 43 AD, almost 100 years after Caesar's failed attempts. Claudius wanted to take over Britannia because it was a big win that would make him look good and help Rome. In the summer of 43 AD, Roman soldiers landed on the shores of Britannia. Their flags waved in the wind, and they marched inland, ready to claim the land ahead. During the fighting, Roman builders and soldiers set up a camp by the River Thames. This spot later became Londinium, which grew into one of the most important towns in the Roman Empire. When Emperor Claudius decided to take over Britannia and start the city of Londinium, it was a huge deal for the Roman Empire. This move opened up new lands for them to control and changed history forever. Even though Claudius never actually visited Londinium, his impact is still felt today. There are monuments and landmarks named after him that remind us how big ideas and determination can make a lasting difference. Since it was built, Londinium has been an important trading spot for the Roman Empire. Like the video? Give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe to our channel.